Welcome to AustCham, our first sundowner in Pattaya for the year. So I'm looking forward to a wonderful evening. Here we are at Avani Resort, Pattaya, and I have Matthew Frayer with me, and the GM of this facility.
Well, well, obviously I'm Australian, so that's pretty obvious. But I found my way to Thailand actually along a winding road. I started my hotel career as a typical Aussie backpacker who got to London, had spent all his money traveling to London via the US, and I found myself working in a hotel. And I realized that this was something I'd love to do. So when I returned back to Australia, I stayed in the industry. I went back to my hometown, Adelaide, and worked in a brand new hotel, which had just opened. I stayed in Australia until 2002, and then I left. And I said I got the bug again to travel internationally. So I went to French Polynesia, Tahiti. I got a phone call from friends who, a good friend who was living in Myanmar at the time. And he said, Matt, you need to get the boys together and we come over and we have a holiday. We'll meet in Thailand first, and then we go to Myanmar and we come back. And that was in 2000 and, I want to say 2004. And I got the bug for Thailand. So in 2008, I moved here finally. And I had the opportunity to work in Pattaya at the Sheraton Pratanak at that time, now the Intercontinental. And I haven't really looked back since then.
It's a long journey from backpacker to GM, but I guess the things you would have had to learn along the way, obviously in this particular industry, is how to manage people. And that's critical because your staff are critical. So what's the secret there?
Well, I think that what I had discovered is that my first job out of high school was working in retail. And I wanted to be a photographer at that time. So what do? I go and get a job in a camera store, thinking that was the path to being a photographer. But I learnt very quickly how to interact with people. I was very fortunate to work with people that had many years' experience. So I was able to pick up those traits from them and develop them into my own way. So when I moved into hotels, it was I can't say it was a natural extension, but I started to understand different guests, how the way they thought, what they were looking for in terms of experience, in terms of service, and then moving through the hotel positions. I started off in room service in F&B. I moved eventually across to rooms division up on Hamilton Island in the Whitsundays, and then I stayed within that sort of rooms division and F&B, flipping backwards and forwards. So I had built up a lot of customer knowledge from how people are. So that helped me when I moved into management, and I think that's one of the the beauties of actually coming up through the ranks. You get to understand your teams that you work with, and also the guests and how that connects. So when I moved into management, and I moved into at that time a very unique part, which was called revenue management. I started to understand their traits, not only from a guest, how they like to use the property, but also their buying, how they bought, what triggered them to buy. Me, managing people, managing our team here, and especially in Thailand, where there's much more of a family environment. It's important that you understand what are the key elements to making the team click, how you need to act as a general manager, but also as a foreigner.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to ensure that what they're getting is aligned with the hotel.
You're a wonderful conversation, and I guess thank you to Avani Pattaya Resort tonight for our Sundowners, and I can imagine that it's going to be wonderful. So thank you, Matthew, and
thanks, Ray.
Thank you.
Great to have a chat.